Hi guys, welcome back to Kitchen Wargamers and welcome back to my kitchen. Okay, on this video what I'm going to talk about is building your army, showing you what the basic is and how I go about progressing it and adding units to it. So what you can see in front of you is the basic squad formation. Now this is going out of the army set up in the Bot Action book itself, not Pacific armies. Now there can be some variations on what I'm telling you from the basic rule book, like a few more different units you can add, and also each army has like a maximum unit makeup, or it could be a bit higher. But like I said, for this one, concentrating on the Germans at the moment because that's my army, and I'll show you what's what. Basically, an army is set up from the reinforced platoon organisation chart. So basically you're building a platoon. So what you see in front of you is one commander. That can be a lieutenant or a second lieutenant, captain, major, and going up. Each time he goes up, he does different things to the armies. Like you can pull a certain amount of dice out the bag yourself using your commander. So you activate your commander and say he can have 2 more dice, and you've got 2 units you desperately want to use before the enemy does. You can use his order to pull out those 2 dice and use them for the troops that you want to get moving. Next to him are 2 5-man units. Now this is the very least, or the very basic you can have to play a game. Now as you can see, if the enemy was the same, it won't be much of a game, but it's good starting off point, so you can get used to things, so you haven't got like loads of different units on the table and you'd have to try and get your head around them and what they do. So like I say, 5-man each. Each one has got an NCO, which is like that unit's commander and your overall platoon commander. So if you want to build up from there, then what you do is you look into the army organisation charts and what they can have, and then from there you look at what you can actually add to the platoon. If I'm making sense, I'm probably going over myself a few times. So this is the basic 2 troop choices. They're at the basic amount of troops you can have, and 1 HQ. So from there, what you can do is add to it. So you can add another 3 infantry units, so you get 5 in total, and then you can add 1 of each of various units. Like you can add a captain or a major. So this is your lieutenant, so you can add a captain or a major as well if you wanted to. You can add a medic. You can add forward observers, either air or artillery. You can add armour, a sniper team, a mortar team, and so the list goes on. Also, when you come to transports, they're the types of vehicles that carry troops about in the battle. You can have 1 transport model per unit. So say for instance these, I want to give them some transport. So I'll get my half track and pay for the points for that, and that can go to that unit. Now if I wanted to add another one, I can do for each troop choice. Also with the transport vehicles as well, they can only carry so many men. So like this German one can carry up to 12 models. So if you've got a 10-man unit, you can carry that. Then if you've got a commander on his own, he can go in that as well. It doesn't matter how many units, as long as the vehicle can carry it. Okay, so that's transports. Other things you add to it, like I say, on the reinforced platoon chart, is only 1. So for each one of these, you can add 1 more thing. Like if you wanted to, you could add a tank. Or say for instance, the enemy's got some armour, so you take in an anti-tank gun. And there's the 4-man crew that goes with this specific one. Okay, and so on and so on. Just move them out of the way again. So The commander as well, he can have, like, if it's Americans, they have Jeeps, or the German Jeep variant, the Keeblewagen, if I've said it properly. That can have that. So that can transport your commander around. And the commander can have up 2 troops assigned to him to help him out. What you'd use them for basically is if your command unit got fired at and you got a hit and a wound, so you lose a troop, you can lose one of those normal troops and still keep your commander in. Obviously, until he's lost those other 2, or say he gets 4 wounds or 3 wounds, then obviously the 2 men with him plus the commander himself will have to be removed. Excuse some of the unpainted stuff, they're still in process of being painted. Okay, right, so that's how you build up for platoon level. Also as well, like I said, these are the minimum 5 men. Now each one of them, you can add more troops to them up to a maximum of 10 men. And also in that, the troops that you add to it, you can add things like, if you want to give them all machine guns or assault weapons, or in the case of, for the case of Germans, sorry, but every army is equipped differently, so don't take this for every army, this is just a German at the moment. You can take Panzerfaust, which I don't know if you can see on the side there, is a one-shot anti-tank weapon. You can take so many of them. And yeah, so basically you can go from the 5, you can add 1, 2, 3, 4 or another 5 up to a maximum of 10. You don't have to take the maximum of 10. So also, like I said, you can add a medic if you want to. There's my German medic. And like the medic, he can try and heal a wounded unit within 6 inches of him by rolling a 6. If he rolls that 6, you can bring a troop back. Okay, so yeah, that's the troops. I'll just go through what I do to keep track of things as well. Because each army's got its own army book, like obviously say for the Germans, they've got their German army, and Americans have got Americans. And there's also some campaign books that cover a full campaign, say like D-Day. So you can fight battles throughout that. And sometimes the variants in them to make up your troops can change as well. So what you do is you get yourself hold of the books. So from there you can build your army. Now during the lockdown, which is when I started doing bolt action again, couldn't get to any shops. As you know, all shops were closed. And so what I did was downloaded the army books straight from Warlord to my phone. So I had them on there. The only thing with that is, if looking back through my phone trying to find a specific page can be a bit tiresome or a bit frustrated. So what I did was basically I sorted out what troops I've got, what units, sorry, and then I made some cards, which I have just over here. I'll just use the troop one, the German Grenadiers. Get this in focus a bit. So what I've done on there is, as you can see, it's a regular unit and it's 50 points for the 1 NCO and the 4 man. That's your 5-man starting team. And then you can add up to 5 more troops at 10 points each. The NCO plus 1 man can have a submachine gun at 3 points each. The NCO and 2 men can have assault rifles at 5 points each. You can have 1 LMG for 20 points, and in the LMG as well you have to have somebody who helps him out loading the weapon. So if you have the LMG, another man in that unit has to be his loader, so he can't shoot, but the LMGs give you extra shots, so you don't really lose that man shooting. And they can take up to 4 Panzerfausts, the one-shot anti-tank weapons, for 5 points each. And if I don't take Panzerfausts, I can equip everyone with anti-tank grenades, therefore to help you out when you assault tanks. But I'm going through vehicle rules like I've done with the infantry ones, if you've seen that, the troop choices. And on the back I've wrote the weapons, what they're allowed to carry. So for the rifles, at the top you can see R for the range, S for the amount of shots, P for penetration, and the SP is for special. So as you can see, the SMG is a 12-inch range, has 2 shots, and that's not ASS, it's assault, short for assault. So it's an assault weapon. So you get benefits in close combat with that, and also for moving. With an assault weapon, if you move, you don't get the minus when you come to shoot at somebody for moving. So that's quite a handy weapon. And again, at the bottom, the Panzerfaust. Like I say, it's 1-shot weapon, 12-inch range, and it's got a +6 penetration. Now again, the penetration for armour, we'll come across that when I cover the armour special rules. Okay, and I find these help me out a great deal, so I have quite a few of them. So there's for observers, the different ones. You can have up to 2 men. The officers, what weapons and everything they can carry. My Panther tank, and on the back again it's the weapons it has. So I find these quite handy to use. So when I'm putting an army together, what I do is go through my cards, have a look what units I want to take, and then build them from there. And obviously the different points are, if it's inexperienced troops, it only costs you 284. If it's regular, 355. And if it's a veteran unit, because obviously they're tougher to kill, that goes up 426. So yeah, I do find these handy. I don't know if it's something you do or you want to do, but yeah, it's quite good. And obviously every time you buy a new unit or a new tank, make one of these cards and have it in your pack, so you know exactly what you've got and what you can put together. Okay, okay, I'll see you in a minute. What I'm going to do is just a quick change round and show you some of the stuff. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, welcome back. What I've done here is, right, as I said with the platoon organisation, you have your 1 officer, your 2 infantry units, and then you build from there. But you can only have one of certain types of stuff added to them, like 1 tank, 1 mortar, 1 anti-tank gun, and so on. So what happens if you want to take more troops, because obviously you go to a maximum of, bear with me, forgot, have a maximum of 5 infantry units. So say you wanted more. So what you can do, and this is how you expand the army in general. Here's the unit I had before, so I've got my 2 5-man troop choices and my officer. Now what they can have is 1 tank. So if I was to do the same again, have another officer and 2 of the 5-man starter sets, I've now got 2 platoons, so they can have a tank. So just by doing that now, I've got 2 platoons and 2 vehicles. And then again, I can add another to each, like a mortar to this team and a mortar to that team. So I get 2 mortars, 2 anti-tank guns, 2 snipers, 2 flamethrower teams, and so on and so on. Then if I wanted to build again, I could do the same again. And that has no limit, obviously only on the room you've got to play, and the points of the game as well. So that's something you can do as well if you want really big games. But like I say, you start off at the minimum, and then just from there you just keep building to get the armies you want. Now there is another thing, there's another platoon that you can make, which is the armoured platoons, but I'll come to them a bit more in general. And basically if you want to fight pure tanks, you have like 1 tank commander, and then you can have 2 more vehicles. And that's like, if you can imagine, that's your tank commander and 2 tanks. And that builds the same sort of way as well. But I'll come to that more. But in my games, what I like to do, like say I've only played, about my 5th game now. We did play a game where we wanted to get more tanks involved. So we split up the army. It was just over 2,000 point army. And basically, 1,000 points was spent making a platoon of armour, and then the other 1,000 points, or a bit less depending how your armour was pure troops. So that gives us a bit more room to play, and we played that on a 4x4 table. It's a bit cramped, but yeah, it just shows you that you can do it and you can build it how you want. Obviously, if you're playing tournaments, things are more stricter, like the points you can take, the amount of armour you can take, and so on. I've not actually played a tournament myself because obviously I'm still learning the rules myself. But one day I'll have a go at a tournament. Yeah, that pretty much covers it, I hope, of how you can build your armies and the very minimum you need to start playing. And like I say, as we're going along with these games, what we're doing, we started on this, how I've talked through it, and then added a tank. So we get used to the troops and a tank. Then we added a mortar. Then we got used to the troops, the tanks and mortar, and so on and so on. And you build it up until you're used to everything. And then you can have a bit more of a mishmash. Like I say, make 2 platoons instead of 1. So that becomes a company then. And so on, just keep growing. Get the game to how you like it. And like I say, the most important thing of it is playing the game, which is great. So I'll leave you with that. If there's anything I missed out, and if I can stop falling over my own words, leave a comment below. I always read my comments. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Like I say, I do read my comments, and there was one mentioned from a guy who wrote a fantastic comment for me, and yeah, he had some good advice. Was sometimes my sound's not too good, but it is something I'm looking into. So like I say, I've just started on YouTube as well, so I've basically just got me mobile phone on a stand. But yeah, I will look into getting better sound, probably one day upgrading to a proper camera and do everything on the computer rather than doing everything on my camera. But yeah, thanks for that comment, and yeah, just leave comments and I'll get back to you. Okay, thanks a lot, and don't forget, make it, paint it and play it. See you again soon, guys. Thank you very much.